greatest storytellers. I once saw a picture of this gentleman next to Danny Williams on Facebook, and it said, the Premier of Newfoundland and Labrador and Danny Williams. He just wrapped up a sold-out run of his hit musical, Telltale Harbour in Toronto. Would you please welcome to the stage, Allan Doyle.
Let's start it right all together. Let's show them how it's done. Well, we'll rant and we'll roar like true Newfoundlanders. We'll rant and we'll roar on deck and below until we stand firm in silence and suckers. Straight to the channel and farewell and adieu to you young maids of Allan. Oh, dear and Perez, Foxhole and Believe, for I'm bound for the westward to the wall with the hole in. I can't marry y'all or a chokey, I'll be all together. Well, we'll rant and we'll roar like true Newfoundlanders. We'll rant and we'll roar on deck and below until we strike bottom inside the two sunkers. Went straight through the channel to Oslo we'll go. I'm a son of a sea cook, I'm a cook on a trader. I can dance, I can sing, and I can read the main boom. And I can handle a jigger, and I cut a fine figure. Whenever I get in a boat standing all together, well, we'll rant and we'll roar like true Newfoundlanders. We'll rant and we'll roar on deck and below until we strike bottom inside the two suckers. Went straight to the channel to Oslo we'll go. Well, we'll rant and we'll roar like true Newfoundlanders. We'll rant and we'll roar on deck and below until we strike bottom inside the two sunkers. Went straight through the channel to Oslo we'll go. Went straight through the channel to Oslo we'll go. That's the way to start it off. I was wondering if people would sing along. How foolish. Led me to wonder.
You said to me backstage, I'll do the first verse by myself, and then the second verse, but hopefully people will sing.
Here we are. I've been away too long, clearly. Way to go. Fantastic. What a crowd. What a show you got. Round of applause for Tom and everybody. It's nice to have you back, Tom.
It's nice to be back, you know, it's nice to be back. I'm sad I'm not in my home community, the bustling outport of Count Heights, Newfoundland. But it is nice to be here. How are you doing? Nice to have you back too. You were just gone to Toronto for how long?
I was away for almost 2 full months in a row, which is very unusual for me. I'm usually gone for 2 or 3 weeks in a row. Always going somewhere, always coming back. But this was an unusual stay. I was in Toronto for almost 2 full months.
Can you tell the people what you were doing?
I was doing a version, Telltale Harbour, the musical that we played here. Yeah.
So, Telltale Harbour sold out to the gills, my understanding, in Toronto. Is that right?
Yeah, we started it there in like the last few days of September, and we were. If you look at the, this is true. If you look at the percentage for seats, we were 103%. I'm serious. They put standing room in the back of the Royal Alexandra Theatre for the first time in over a decade. It was sold out to the building.
Aren't as familiar with the story of Telltale Harbour, the people here might recognize that story.
Yeah, well, most people know it as a musical adaptation of the film that became The Grand Seduction, that was filmed in Trinity and stars Mark Critch and a few other people. And it's really about a small town that loses its fish plant and is in the running to get a replacement plant to save the town. But one big thing it needs to get in order to secure that opportunity is it needs to have a full-time resident doctor. So one of the foolish leaders of the town, played by yours truly, tries to convince the whole town that they can indeed convince this visiting doctor from London that small town Telltale Harbour is the place he should spend the rest of his life, and hijinks and lovely songs ensue.
I'm curious as to why it landed the way it did in Toronto and on the mainland. So for people who don't know, the show debuted in Charlottetown. I want to say
Well, the show debuted we sort of wrote it over the pandemic. Myself and Ed Rich and Adam and Bob Adam from Charlottetown and Bob from Toronto, and we did it mostly during the pandemic. It debuted in 22 at the Charlottetown Festival, and then of course we did a tour of it here in Newfoundland and Labrador. We did all the arts culture centers. And we did a 5 or 6 day sold out run right here at this theater in September or October of 2022, and then we reworked a bunch of the things for it, and we debuted it back again. We remounted it for Charlottetown this summer in 2025, and it rolled into the Royal Alex with the big mighty Mirvish, which is like the NHL for theater in Canada. I've come to learn. I don't know.
But you did better than the Leafs, which is good. Just two Habs fans, we're okay. What I'm curious about is that seems like such a local story, at least an Atlantic Canadian story. A fish plant going down, the challenges of getting a family doctor in a community. Did you find that there was any difference in how people in Atlantic Canada, how people in Newfoundland received the show, and how people in Toronto received the show?
Well, in Atlantic Canada, people are so familiar with that story. And I don't mean the movie itself, but we're all so familiar with, I mean, I grew up in Petty Harbour, right? Like we're in 1990, yeah, thank you very much.
Love that, by the way.
I expected and hoped for that.
I heard someone from Maddox Cove start booing, by the way.
No, but I was born in 1969, and of course, so I just became an adult, and Great Big Sea just started when the cod moratorium hit Petty Harbour, just like it hit everywhere else in Newfoundland and Labrador, and all these towns, like Petty Harbour, had to sort of redefine what we were doing, you know. And so, even as a very young adult, I was faced with that reality, and our town was. And I think that sort of coastal survivalist mentality is very common out here. We're used to it, so that resulted in one kind of show. But of course, in Toronto and perhaps West or wherever, they're not as used to that story, so it was a little bit more sort of fantastical for them. And a little bit, which I think probably made for a funnier night. I know, I'm serious. Like, I'm sure, like, it's the story of my life, you know, especially with the Great Big Sea lads, you know, playing sea shanties in Telluride, Colorado, you know, and wondering how in God's name this is going to go over. Yet it does. And so here we are, you know, on the same stage that had Hamilton on it, and Phantom of the Opera. You know, I'm there winking and singing a song about Petty Harbour. It's called Telltale Harbour in the show, but it's basically about Petty Harbour. And no better spot for it, if you don't mind me saying.
How did you find writing the music? When I went to see the show, I was struck by, like, it was very natural that you wrote these very big musical theater songs. That is normally a discipline that belongs to one sort of musician, and the kind of person who can write big pub songs that everyone can sing along with is another kind of musician. How did you find sort of stepping between those two worlds?
Very challenging.
Yeah?
It was probably the hardest I've ever had to work on something, and I did it so happily. But I must say, as new as I was to it, the other musician in the creative team was a guy named Bob Foster, who you know, and he's the chief musical theater person in the country of Canada. So under his guidance and friendship, we got it done, and people loved it. You know, it was a great night out, and we look forward to doing it again.
You're about to go out on tour, a big long run, not long from now, right?
Still in the game, can't believe it. Yeah, we.
Unlike the Toronto Maple Leafs. I'm sorry. Ron McLean's gonna kill me.
Well, having spent my time in Toronto, if I could tell you, I figured out really quickly two ways to upset everyone in Toronto. Right? The first one is an obvious one. Walk up to someone in Toronto and tell them that their hockey team's pretty good. They are beside, and then the big one, of course, is
Tell them that, you know, all your experiences in the last 5 or 6 weeks in Toronto on public transit have been awesome. I'm sorry, guys, the subway works. I don't know what to tell you. I got everywhere I wanted to go. It just works. I'm sorry.
You're going back out. You still love the road. How long have you been out on the road now in your life?
I don't know. Someone asked me, like a kid asked me at a gig, I said, how many concerts have you done in your lifetime? And I said, buddy, I don't know. I don't know. Like,
it's 20 years of Great Big Sea, 10 years of Allan solo.
Yeah.
And then before that?
Yeah, before that was when we were doing all the gigs, because we played 5 or 6, you know, different places downtown, and I don't know, I mean...
What keeps you going?
Well, I still love it, right? I still love getting on stage, and I still love playing music, and I still love traveling, you know, and that I was that way when I was 14 in Petty Harbour, and I've seen no reason to stop, you know. I still love doing it, and I still get to play with a great gang, and the audiences are still showing up. I mean, we announced the new tour, and we're starting right here in St. John's, by the way, and I'm looking forward to that. The Already Dancing tour starts, and the response was so big that we added a second night in St. John's. We're doing 2 nights at Massey Hall in Toronto and onwards, and so yeah, it's I feel really lucky, and I'm not kidding. I feel really lucky to still be in the game at all. Like, that's enough for me, you know. But to still have a little bit of, it feels like it's still growing, you know. Like, and that's incredible, you know. Because here I am in my mid-30s, and it's.
You look great, by the way. You look great.
Thank you.
The last thing, you also have a book out this month. You just released a book called The Smiling Land about your journeys around Newfoundland and Labrador. And in it, you talk about how you're, even though you're on the road all the time, how even though it may be a lot more convenient, I saw this line in the book, it may have been a lot more convenient for your touring life to move away, you have never kept a home anywhere but here in Newfoundland and Labrador. How come?
Well, why would you? The funniest thing about that whole thing to me is that, you know, all the good fortune in my life, you know, like traveling, and got to travel and play music, and, you know, under a couple of awesome umbrellas, 3 or 4 really, and then doing a bit of film and television stuff, and, you know, theater or whatever. And I've gotten to go to some of the greatest cities in the world, you know, and not one time has it ever occurred to me to move to one of them and not live in St. John's. Like, it's never even crossed my mind. Like, how weird that would be. And one of the things, the whole Smiling Land book that I just released is kind of an attempt to answer that question. It's like, you know, what is it about a place that makes you love it so much, you know? And, you know, I mean, mom's bread is good.
Yeah, and Athens does not have the Village Mall. Allan, Athens does not have the hot shop at the food court at the Village Mall. I'm going to point that out. I think I can speak for everybody here that everyone's so glad you never left, but also an unbelievable amount of pride in both in you and the ambassadorship you've done for this province. And thank you so much for coming out today.
That was so lovely.
Emerging, up and coming,
all those things.
How are you? Nice to see you.
It's great to be here. This is amazing. What a great crowd. What a great idea. This is fantastic.
I know, it's fun. We should do it every week. What do you remember? We're here at the Arts and Culture Centre. What was your first time playing the Arts and Culture Centre?
Well, one of my first memories of the Arts and Culture Centre was we were brought here by school. So what do we have, 1,100 people, I think? And so I was probably 7 years of age, and other schools were here as well. So it was 1,100 7-year-olds. And I remember I was in the middle with a buddy of mine, and in those days, I don't know if it's now, but there were like 1,000 light bulbs in the ceiling. Yeah. So my buddy and I, we started shaking our heads. Like crazy, shaking our heads, and it was just a wild effect. And then this teacher is on the aisle and starts going, boys, stop shaking your head, stop shaking your head. And I realize it's a teacher, but it's not a teacher from our school. So we're good to go. So we keep shaking our heads, shaking, madly shaking. And then this teacher became so incensed, he walked up on this center stage and he said, "If one more child looks up at these lights and shakes their head." And then I had the glorious experience of watching 1,100 7-year-olds and start shaking their head.
Did you play? Because when you did show me the button, I'll push it. Charles Lynch Must Die. The first big show that sort of made you
Yes.
when you were still, I think, in high school, right?
I wasn't in high school.
You were
I was
still very young,
I was a
right?
kid. I was 20.
20 years old.
And I did this show called Show Me the Button, I'll Push It, or Charles Lynch Must Die. And it was about the Meech Lake Accord of all things.
Like all 20-year-olds were doing at the time.
Yeah.
No 20-year-olds could stay away from the Meech Lake Accord.
The show did very well at the LSPU Hall.
Was anyone there? Anyone remember? Anyone there?
It was life-changing for me. We sold out the LSPU Hall for 2 weeks, which the LSPU Hall is a smaller theater in downtown St. John's. At that time, 160 seats, I think. And then we wanted to hold over, which was unheard of, past 2 weeks. And it wasn't available, it was rented. And then Gerald, my partner, who was the producer of the show, said, "Let's take our money and rent the Arts and Culture Center." And I was like, "What do you think I am, Ravine?" The Arts and Culture Center? So we rented the place, and it was like $1,500. It wasn't cheap. And we came up here, and we did 2 nights, and we sold them out, and it was the biggest thrill of my life. And honestly, I just came back with the tour that I finished, and walking out on stage to a full house just, just a couple of weeks ago, and that would have been like 29 years later or something. It was, the thrill was exactly the same. It was incredible.
I heard a story from some of the folks backstage that you, on the night you were sold out, you were in the middle of the theater with the lights on doing this.
I'm gonna live until I die. I'm not the type to hang my head and cry. I may drink a couple of beer, I might get a little high. I'm gonna live until I die. Wasn't long after I was born that I first had red meat. And chicken wings and greasy things are such a weekly treat. Now I'm told the food I love is not the best for me. Guess we'll have to wait it out and see. I'm gonna live until I die. I'm not the type to hang my head and cry. I may drink a couple of beer, I might get a little high. I'm gonna live until I die. I used to have a few beer every day. Oh, now they say it's not the proper way. I'll hide away and do my thing, my solitude I'll keep. I can only have 2 beers a week. I'm gonna live until I die. I'm not the type to hang my head and cry. I may drink a couple of beer, I might get a little high. I'm gonna live until I die. Don't get me wrong, I know the smoke's no good. It's probably time to give them up, I guess I probably should. But the price it keeps on climbing, it's almost at the max. Guess you can't help me with all that tax. I'm gonna live until I die. I'm not the type to hang my head and cry. I may drink a couple of beers, I might get a little high. I'm gonna live until I die. I know they are bad habits, this I plainly see. But remember, it's the government that provides it all to me. true, they recommend and say, it's my own life and I'll live it my own way. I haven't got the palate for just water and green salad, so I'm gonna live until I die. I'm gonna live until I die. I'm not the type to hang my head and cry. I may drink a couple of beers, I might get a little high. I'm gonna live until I die. I'm gonna live until I die. I'm not the type to hang my head and cry. I may drink a couple of beers, I might get a little high. I'm gonna live until I die.
Sit down. No, please sit down, ladies and gentlemen. It's radio. They won't know. Sit down. Flowers. Thank you, Premier. Hot tub.
Mark, how are you? What goes through your mind? That must be a proud father moment right there.
Absolutely. When I see Gravy, Will, as I first met them, come out in drag, one thought goes through my head, well, at least they're not a goalie. Because that would be more expensive. No, it's amazing. It's so wonderful. It's a great community, you know, it's really cool.
Grady was so funny, man, like so funny just then.
Yeah, well, Will's always been hilarious, and it's just wonderful to see. Funny thing about this, so like, I'm watching Will/Gravy come out, and Will was born cleft lip and palate, and always had a lot of speech therapy and had a trouble speaking and speaking clearly.
Yeah.
And now they come out here, Arts and Culture Center stage, under radio, and kill it. And for me, it's like, well, best moments of my life. And it's so funny because like, my other son Jacob is a musician.
Incredible songwriter, incredible musician.
My other son Jacob is a songwriter / producer, musician guy, and he's got like hit songs in like a number 10, a number 3 song in Japan, and a number 1 song in like Korea and stuff. It's very strange. And then Will is doing this stuff, you know? And when they were starting out, and I was like, they're like, oh, I want to be a musician, and I want to do drag. And I'm like, well, dentistry is a wonderful And then they look at me, it's like, well, Dad, you followed your dreams, and all your friends like, you know, Rick Mercer and Allan Doyle and Alan Hawco and Tom Power, they've all followed their dreams. And I'm like, shag. I'm not going to the fancy old age home. You know? I just want a 24-hour nurse, but they're following their dreams, and that's the thing, you know, if you have a passion inside, it's a great gift in life.
I want to talk a little bit about, I mean, it's a very strange thing to watch Gravy come out here and talk about their dad, and to know that you are currently playing your dad in the hit show Son of a Critch. Can we get a round of applause for that? What's interesting, and you and I have been talking a lot about this, is that a lot of people will know your dad from being on the radio here. Can you just do a little bit of your dad for us?
Late last night, early this morning, moose were struck on the Trans-Canada Highway. The name of the moose has not yet been released, as investigation is still pending. The suspect vehicle is described as a brown and tan Chevette, in poor condition before the accident, extremely poor condition after the accident. 2 youths were killed, 1 seriously. Mark Critch, the VOC of Mercer.
What's interesting is I can hear the laugh of recognition from this audience. But you have seen audiences not just across Canada. It's become a massive hit on Netflix in the US, a massive hit on Netflix all around the world. People, I mean, we were talking about this with Allan and Telltale Harbor earlier. People who wouldn't know your dad, people wouldn't know what it's like to grow up in the OCN Valley, have really taken to the show. Why do you think that is?
That's a big lesson I learned from this, you know, because I thought surely to God, a show about an asthmatic youngster growing up in St. John's in the 80s. I'm like, okay, we got a season. We tricked him, you know? And I said, well, I'm just going to make this as real as possible. But it's connected with people all over because you might not have grown up in St. John's and you might not know what putting the arse back in the cat is or whatever. But everyone's been in love. Everybody's had a crush on a girl or a boy who didn't like them. Everybody's felt like the outsider. And that's what connects. I get, because it's in the States now, I get these messages from like, there's one Southern Baptist preacher who writes me, and he says like, I use some of the things in my sermons. And a lady, a grandmother, a Jewish grandmother in California wrote me and said, my grandson was being bullied. And then he said, I'm going to use the Mark method of trying to be funny. And now he has a girlfriend, and I'm going to write you. And I'm like, it didn't work for me. What good for Buddy?
You have a book coming out at the end of the month called Sorry Not Sorry, about things that Canadians can take pride in a time like this. And I was thinking that you were the first to do a comedic, on-air interview with our current Prime Minister, Mark Carney.
Yes.
At a Tim Hortons.
Yeah.
And I texted you afterwards because typically when you do these things, they shut down the Tim Hortons. And I said, Mark, why were there so many people at the Tim Hortons where you were interviewing Mark Carney?
Because I'm bad at my job, Tom. So, like, Mark Carney's people were talking to the show people and blah, blah, blah. And then they're like, we could do it in Hamilton. And I'm like, okay, we gotta go to Hamilton. And we show up and we go to this Tim Hortons. And I picked Tim Hortons, talk to people at Tim Hortons. And then we go off and I'm doing something and we're gonna meet a certain time. And then I get a message from the RCMP people who go to the Tim Hortons before the Prime Minister and they go, they don't know you're coming. And I'm like, oh yes, they do, Jean-Claude. And I boot it over to Tim Hortons. I come up and I'm like, what's on the go? And they're like, you can't come in here today. Today we do inventory. And I'm like, I know, but the Prime Minister's coming. And then Mounties, now they're pissed off. And then, so all this is going on. And then I call Tim Hortons. The Tim Hortons head office doesn't know about it because sent an email earlier, but they didn't get it or whatever. And about half an hour later, this missus shows up in like, you know, like, it's a Tim Hortons coat that's like for a sporty thing, like it's a little sporty jacket at Tim Hortons. And she kicks open the door and she's like, is this really happening? Is the Prime Minister coming here now to do an interview with you in this Tim Hortons? I'm like, yes. And she barges up to Mrs. and she goes, what's going on? She goes, they can't do this, it's inventory. And she says, well, that doesn't really matter today now, does it? And she says, get a mop. And then we all start mopping up. And then the Prime Minister comes in and we sit, and he walks in. And he goes, and I'm like, what do you want? You want a coffee and a donut? And he goes, well, I'm off the sugar. And I said, you know what? You're my 7th Prime Minister. Can I give you some advice? And he said, yes, what? And I said, eat the friggin' donut.
And look how it worked out.
And it worked out.
Turn it up. Doesn't matter if you love it or hate it. If you turn it up, it's a jam. If you turn it down, not a jam. Everyone feeling all right? Everyone feeling they got it? Let's go for song number 1.
Sonny lives on a farm, on a wide open space. You could take off your shoes and give up the race. You could lay down your head, I sleep bed. Sonny always remembers what it was his mama said.
Immortal Ron Hines and Sonny's Dream. Mark, I'll start with you. Jam or not a jam?
How would you say that's not a jam and get out of here alive? You know what I mean? Yeah. That's like going to Rome and playing Pope, not a Pope. It's a jam. It's the greatest jam of all time.
Jam? Jam or not a jam?
It's got to be a jam. Come on.
It's a huge hit.
I was at a wedding once. Can I tell a little side story?
Yeah,
I was at a wedding once, and the party afterwards, the song came on, and people from Buckins got up. Shout out to Buckins.
Shout out Buckins in the room tonight. Wow.
Got up, and everyone stood on chairs and on tables and just clapped and sang Sonny's Dream. And it is not a short song, as we all know. And I really didn't understand as a townie what was going on, but yeah, it's a jam.
That's called a cultural exchange.
Exactly.
Trent, last word to you, jam or not a jam?
You could put that on toast, man. That's a jam.
Yeah. All right. The next song for Jam or Not a Jam.
Bringing the world and land and your homes and family before. Your friends keep you company. No distances to rain on.
Where's the guitar? Keep it going, keep it going.
5 stars.
Do not keep it going. Do not keep it going.
I believe that's the great Jeff Dyer who recorded that and sang the lead, wasn't it?
The NTV, one of the many NTV themes we listened. The other one was 4 decades of history, and Newfoundland people be right here on NTV.
How did you not pick at Vogue Optical? 579-1100 Pizza Expert.
My favorite is
Taking it easy
when you take the bus. My personal favorite is just the instructions are in the song. Buy and sell, the best place to buy and sell.
Country 644 going Terra Nova Motor.
We've lost the rest of the country, but we're still here.
No, yeah. That's inside Kelowna going, the radio's broke.
Jen, I'll start with you. We'll go around. Jen, NTV theme.
Oh,
Jam or Not a
classic.
Jam?
Total jam.
Came on the radio, you turn it up?
Of course. Every single time.
You know what? We're CBC employees, it means a lot that we have that kind of bravery.
Wait, I've just got an email. I have to go. I've been fired.
Jen seeking employment on the Dawn Patrol. Trent, jam or not a jam?
I'm saying jam because when that came on, you knew it was time to go to bed. You know what I mean? NTV had more jingles. They could have had an album just from the tunes they made about their own station. You got to respect it. I jam it up.
Mark, jam or not a jam?
Personal story. I've never revealed this publicly. Gravy was conceived to that song.
I really don't believe the CRTC is going to be with me on any of this. All right. Here's another.
Dicky Bird.
You are such a jerk. There are other words, but they just don't work.
That is the great Kim Stockwood with her smash hit Jerk. Trent, a jam or not a jam?
Definitely a jam. It was a big deal too as a Newfoundlander to see another Newfoundlander having a music video and doing well, so definitely a jam.
I remember, and I told Kim Stockwood this, that I remember the rumor in my school was our grade 3 phys ed teacher was the jerk.
Really?
And I told Kim Stockwood, and she said, what was his name? And I said, I'm not going to say his name, but I said, and she went, not him, but could have been him. Mark, a jam or not a jam?
It is a jam. I have a big Tibbs Eve party every year, and a bunch of people come over. Kim was at it, and a lot of the other guests were going around, this to Mrs. Watt sings Jerk. So that's a jam.
And Jen, last word to you, Jerk, jam or not a jam?
Total jam. Come on. And it's so nice to have a strong female on stage presenting a fun song.
I like the part where she goes, how come jerks don't know they're jerks?
I don't know.
Yeah, spectacular. We were struggling with the idea of playing anything from Newfoundland and Labrador that would receive anything but solid jam, and who knows, this may be a jam as well, so we reached outside the province to somehow get us out of this. Take a listen.
Never made it as a wise man, couldn't cut it as a poor man stealing, tired of living like a blind man, I'm sick aside without a sense of feeling, and this is how you remind me. This is how you remind me of what I really am. This is how you remind me of what I really am.
That is, of course, the great Sim and I with a song called... Jim, back at it. That is Nickelback and How You Remind Me. Mark, jam or not a jam?
It is a jam because I can place anyone in Newfoundland and Labrador. As you know, Gene Simmons married Shan Tweed, who's from Newfoundland, therefore Kiss is a Newfoundland band. Chad Kroger has the name Kroger. Kroger's owned a paper mill out Corner Brook, therefore he's Newfoundland, and therefore it's Newfoundland song. That's a jam!
I can't believe you pulled out and the Kroger's owned the paper mill. Jam?
Which is a beautiful Newfoundland too. Oh, the Kroger's on the paper mill.
Oh no, that's him and I. That's him. Who is still with us in the rest of the All right. Jam or not a jam?
Trent, do you want to check in the scribbler?
Let's
What
check
it
the
says
scribbler here,
there?
see what we got. Oh, it says here the mill is owned by Kruger, not Kroger.
I can't believe tonight of all nights you're making fun of my accent.
Jam or not a jam? Nickelback, How You Remind Me.
I do like that song. That is a jam.
I think so,
We'll
too.
give that a jam. Yeah.
And Trent, last word to you.
Yeah, it's a rocker, man. It's a jam. It's a great band. Great band.
You know what? I'm with you. It is a jam. It's a huge hit. There were no not a jams today, and I'm not that upset about it.
Tom, we're too nice is the problem. What are we gonna say?
Oh yes, this fella, not a gem. I got everything. He's like a jellyfish. He loves everything. He's the sweetest, my God. He's like a cookie. Look at him. He looks like me if I hadn't drunk.
It was a joy to sit with you and introduce the good people of St. Catharines, Ontario for decades of history in Newfoundland people.
What a lad, what a hand.
Please welcome to the stage. Sorry. Oh my God, did I say please welcome to the stage? Oh my God. Can we do, well, hold on, we got it. One more time for Jen White, Mark Critch, and Trent McClellan, everybody. We heard the great Ron Hines and Sonny's Dream. The last time I saw Ron Hines, I was up at that balcony in the last row when he performed here, and we all miss him so much. And we thought we'd close things off with his great anthem about this great city. Would you please welcome Allan, Doyle, and Shanneyganock performing the St. John's Waltz.
Enjoy this. Make some noise for Tom Powell on the guitar. Looking around waltzing in the aisles at the Arts and Culture Center in St. John's. Right, here we go. And a 1, 2, 3. And the seagulls are all dreaming, seagull dreams on Amherst Drive. And the mist is slowly drifting as the storefront lights grow dim. And the moon is gently lifted as the last ship is coming in. And all the sailors got a story. Some are true and some are false, and they're always wrecked, and they're up on the deck, and they're dancing the St. John's Waltz. Come on, Rick.
We had a shared history. We've seen nations come and go. We've seen battles rage over land and stage for 100 years or more. For glory or for freedom, or for country or for king, or the graves where men are sleeping, where the graves lie sleeping. All the 9 to 5 survive the day with the sigh and the dose of salt. They park in their cars, back in the bars, dancing the St. John's Waltz.
free, so leave the wayward free to wander, leave the restless free to roam. And if it's rocks in the bay, if it's all cliche, then you'll find your way back home. So don't question or inquire what's been made or what's been lost. In a world of romance, don't miss out on the chance to be dancing the St. John's waltz. In a world of romance, don't miss out on the chance to be dancing the St. John's waltz. Make some noise for Tom Powell and everybody.
To the CBC team in Newfoundland and Labrador, thanks for all your help and the work to put this on. To the team back home at Pierre and Vanessa, Matt, Vivian, and Mitch that joined me here. Thanks to everybody who came out tonight. And thank you, Newfoundland and Labrador. My name